Hello students, a very good morning to all of you. And how are you? Are you happy at home? I know you all are not happy. Even I am not happy. You know why? Unable to see you all in the school. We were having fun in the school, right? And it's been a year now, we have not come to school. But out of this, एक चीज तो बहुत अच्छी है. What is that? That you all have been promoted to the next standard and now you are so big. है ना? You all have come to the new journey, the new standards, the new classes, new books, new notebooks, new teachers. Everything is so new around you. Aren't you excited? मैं तो बहुत excited हूँ तुम सबसे मिलने के लिए. Right? So, welcome to your class 6. And there's one more thing, you know what happens in class 6? In class 5, we were so small kids and we have a one common book for our social science. But here in your class 6, the social science is been divided into 3 different streams in history, geography and in civics. So now, अब हमको एक नहीं पढ़ना है, हमको तीन चीजें पढ़नी है, हिस्ट्री भी, जियोग्राफी भी एंड सिविक्स भी. बट डू नॉट पैनिक, डरने की जरूरत नहीं है. आई एम ऑलवेज देयर फॉर यू ना. सो माई सेल्फ मिताली एंड आई एम योर social science teacher and we all will be together studying the boring subject. No, I promise you कि by the time जो बच्चे ये कहते हैं ना मैम it is a very boring subject, they all will say कि मैम हमें तो boring लगा ही नहीं, इतना interesting subject लगा हमको that still in class 5 also the subject was our favorite subject and in class 6 also and for many more years the social science subject will be your favorite subject. So do not panic, do not think that it is boring or it is difficult or itne sare chapters ho gaye now, 30 chapters are there, so do not panic at all. We have a whole year to complete it and we have a whole year to understand, to learn and everything. Abhi to khush raho नई books dekh ke, नई notebooks dekh ke. So today what we are going to start, we will be starting our history. And in history, we will be starting our chapter number 1, which is an approach towards the past. So, our first topic of history is an approach towards the past. As we have already discussed that the history is related to past. So, to understand about our past, first of all, we should know that what is history. So, what is history? The knowledge that we gain from the study of past is called history. Whatever information we are getting from the past, whether we are getting the information that how the people were living, what they ate, which type of clothes they were wearing and which type of houses they were living into, all the information that we are getting from the past is called the history. And the people, those who describe the past, are called historians. That means the people which gives us the information about the history, they are called the historians. But why history is so important to study? Why it is very important to study the history? So let's move to the next topic, which is importance of history. First of all, why it is important? Because it gives us the information about the different kings, even their leaders, उनके मंत्री, उनके सलाहकार, उनके एडवाइज़र, उनके लीडर्स, उनकी डायनेस्टीज, उनके पीपल, उनकी पर्सनल क्वालिटीज़. All the information we get from the history only. Then history also deals with the life of the people. For example, I always give the example of picture Bahubali. है ना. तो बाहुबली जब हमने मूवी देखी तो वी गेट टू नो अबाउट बाहुबली, भल्लाल देव, कटप्पा एंड एवरीवन. सो these all were the leaders and how the people of their time, how was the people of their time. So that all information वो तो बाहुबली देखने से मिल गई, but actual in reality we get all the information about the kings, dynasties, their kingdoms and their ordinary people from the history. Then it helps to understand both the present and the past. Of course, if you know the past, what happened in the past, then only you will be able to compare with the प्रेजेंट, तो उसके दो बेनिफिट्स हैं. देखो, सी, फर्स्ट थिंग तो यू विल गिव योर इम्पोर्टेंस टू योर प्रेजेंट because you will be understanding what is the continuous development happening from the past till date. So of course it tells us about the past and the present. Then the next point is it guides people to set goals and tell them not to make the same mistakes. Of course it happens in our class also. जब मैम एक टेस्ट ले लेती हैं और मैम उसके मार्क्स दे देती हैं, then we try to see the mistakes what we have done and we will not do the same mistake again. So the same thing happens in the history also. History tells us how to set the goals and not to repeat the same mistakes. This point I have already discussed. Continuous development, if you know your past and know your present, then you will be able to see that how the development happened. Then it help us to understand the basic nature of the society which I was just telling you about the Bahubali movie. History help us to understand about the ordinary people, and once we will study the ordinary people, we will be able to know that how they used to live, what was their basic nature, which culture they follow, which all traditions, which festival they celebrate. So all that information together we get from the history. So there are so many things which are very important. If we do not study the history, we won't be able to get all the information, and we will not be able to compare our past with the present. So how we have divided our history. So we have divided our history into two parts, one prehistory and the history. So prehistory, what is that time? Prehistory is that time when writing was not invented. That means it is that time when people did not know how to read, how to write. उनको कुछ लिखना भी नहीं आता था, कुछ पढ़ना भी नहीं आता था. So that time when people was not when the writing was not invented, so that part is called prehistory. And history is that part where the people learn how to write. So how do we know about prehistory? जब लोगों को लिखना ही नहीं आता था तो हमें पता कैसे चला prehistory के बारे में? So we get the information through the archaeological sources that we will discuss in the next topic. Some sources जो written form में नहीं थे, just weapons, किस टाइप के weapons वो लोग बनाते थे. After weapons, then we have tools, which kind of tools they were using, the jewelry which the ladies of that time was wearing. So do you need to read and write for that? So some sources was there which did not need the written part. So that is involved in prehistory. And yes, in history, when everyone know how to write, so the written records are available for the history. And where do people used to write? ना तो A3 sheets होती थी, ना A4 sheets होती थी. So where the people used to write their content, they used to write their content on the bark of the trees. What do? Is they peel एक बहुत बड़ा पेड़, उसके नीचे का जो स्टेम है, they used to peel off, जो उसकी खाल बोलते हैं ना हिंदी में हम लोग, उसकी खाल को उतार लेना, उसके बाद उसको सुखाना, make it dry, and then it converts into a paper which is called as bhojpatra, which is known as bhojpatra. So they used to write on that dried bark of the trees, except that they have metal plates, they have rocks. इतनी बड़ी बड़ी rocks होती थी, उसके ऊपर राजा अपना मैसेज लिखवा देता था. So there are so many options in the history. So अब हमको कैसे पता चला हिस्ट्री के बारे में, प्री हिस्ट्री के बारे में? So now we will read about the sources of the history. So how we have divided the whole history sources? We have divided into two parts, archaeological sources and literary sources. Archaeological sources and literary sources. So the first part is archaeological sources. Archaeological sources were the sources which are not written, जो written की form में नहीं थे. As I was just telling you, the jewelry, the coins, the pots, maybe उस टाइम के लोगों ने कुछ pots बनाए होंगे to store their grains and to store their things. Then the weapons, then the tools. So all these are the archaeological sources. And on the other hand, what are literary sources? Literary sources are something which are available in the written form, यानी कि हमको बाद में मिल गए थे. किस form में? In the written form में हमको मिल गए थे. So first of all, let us discuss what are archaeological sources, then we will move to the literary sources. So आर्कियोलॉजिकल सोर्सेज आर डायरेक्ट एविडेंसेस और फिजिकल एविडेंसेस. इनको डायरेक्ट एविडेंसेस क्यों कहा जाता है? वाई डू वी कॉल द आर्कियोलॉजिकल सोर्सेज द डायरेक्ट एविडेंसेस? बिकॉज दीज आर द सोर्सेज दैट कैन नॉट बी ऑल्टर्ड. इनको हम चेंज नहीं कर सकते. कि कोई ज्वेलरी बनी है तो वो बनी हुई है ना, आप उसको कैसे चेंज कर सकते हो? उसके स्टोन्स निकाल के अगर दूसरे स्टोन्स भी लगाना चाहोगे देन इट विल ब्रेक डाउन. इट्स 1000 year old. So these are few of the sources that are direct, जो उन लोगों ने अपने हाथों से बनाए थे, and you cannot make changes in that sources. So the first source of archaeological sources is artifacts. Artifacts are the different things that the people have made with their hands. So here you can see, here if you are able to see, here are some of the sculptures. What are the sculptures? Sculptures are the thing. See, these are the sculptures. Sculptures are the things that the people have made with their hands. Some idols they used to pray for, or then the metal objects. These all are the metal objects which they used to make to use for different regions. Then the pottery you can say. Then these are our weapons, and then these are the ornaments or the jewelry which the women at that time used to wear. So these are the archaeological sources which cannot be altered and cannot be changed. Next is monuments. Of course, we cannot change the monument. What are the monuments? The old building, the ruins of the building. Ruins means the leftover. अब 1000 साल पहले की building है, आधी टूट गई, आधी बची है. So ruins means leftover, what is left with us. Temples, stupas, mosque means masjid, tombs, छोटे छोटे किले, caves, गुफाएं, palaces, बड़े बड़े महल, and the old settlement. These all are the example of the monuments. It gives us a lot of information about the history. हम कितने तो देखने भी चाहते हैं ना कि पुराने पुराने मंदिर हैं, अजंता अलोरा की गुफाएं हैं, अजंता अलोरा caves हैं. There are so many things, so many monuments that we people go to visit to see about how beautifully they have made. So it tells us about the past heritage. Then the next is of course the coins. Coins are the very important source of the history. How they are so important? See, first of all, if you will see today's coin, then the year of that coin is mentioned on that. So at that time also, when the coins were printed, when the coins were stamp marked. Stamp क्या होता है? एक stamp बना लेते थे. When the coin is in semi liquid form, उसको punch किया जाता था ऐसे. तो वो पंच करते थे तो जो स्टैम्प का जो मार्क होता था वो उस पर चला जाता था. तो बेसिकली व्हाट हैपेंस इज द किंग्स नेम, द किंग्स ईयर, कि वो कब राजा था, तो दैट बेसिकली गेट प्रिंटेड इनटू दैट कॉइन. सो दैट कॉइन गिव्स अस अ लॉट ऑफ इंफॉर्मेशन अबाउट द किंग, इन विच ईयर इट हैज रूल्ड. One more thing, that suppose I am a king and you are a king, but my coin is found in your area. My coin is found in your area. So what does that means? मैंने ऐसे तो ही नहीं दिए होंगे ना तुमको. सपोज आई हैव अ गोल्ड कॉइन और मैंने दिए होंगे कि जाओ मेरे गोल्ड कॉइन्स रख लो. सो मे बी इट वुड हैपन दैट आई हैव परचेज्ड समथिंग फ्रॉम यू. मैंने कुछ आपसे खरीदा होगा और आपको अपने कॉइन्स दिए होंगे. सो इट टेल्स अस दैट द बोथ द किंग्स, आई एंड यू, वी हैव सम trade relationships with each other. So this is how the coins gives us a lot of information about the king and the trade relationships with the different kingdoms. The next and the important, you need to understand it very carefully, that is the inscriptions. Inscriptions are the written records. Written records ma'am, आप तो कह रहे थे आर्कियोलॉजिकल सोर्सेज तो नॉन रिटन फॉर्म होती हैं. सो येस, हियर यू नीड टू अंडरस्टैंड द डिफरेंस, दैट व्हाई आई एम सेइंग इंस्क्रिप्शंस इन आर्कियोलॉजिकल सोर्सेज. सो आर्कियोलॉजिकल सोर्सेज में हम क्यों पढ़ रहे हैं इंस्क्रिप्शन? द रीजन इज द नेक्स्ट वर्ड विच मीन्स एनग्रेव्ड, which means engraved. Though it is a written form only, but it is not written with the help of ink. It is not written on the paper. In fact, it is the written form which is engraved. engraved का मतलब खुदा हुआ होना. If you will see in this picture, this is not written. This is not written over it. This is engraved. ये रॉक के अंदर खुदा हुआ है. So वही तो मैं बोल रही थी that the archaeological sources are the sources which are direct evidences. That means you cannot change, you cannot alter. Can you alter this? Can you alter this one? No, it is very difficult. So what are the inscriptions? Inscriptions are the written records which are engraved. Where it can be engraved? It can be engraved on the walls of the caves, walls of the palaces, or the this rock pillars you can see. So wherever the king wanted to, it get it engraved. So the study of inscription is called epigraphy, and the person who does that is epigrapher or epigraphist. Why it is so important? Of course it is important because it is giving so much information about our past. Though I am unable to understand this language, and I hope आपको भी नहीं आता होगा, but still the people, those who can understand this language, they can easily get the information which is written on this inscription. So this is how the archaeological sources were very important. So how many archaeological sources we have discussed? Artifact, monuments, coins and inscriptions. We have discussed 4 different archaeological sources which are in the form of non-written and which are the direct evidences. Moving on to our next type of sources, which are literary sources. So what is literary sources? As I told you, everything which is in the form of written is the literary source. Here if you can see in this slide only, if you are able to see this picture, see the picture at the bottom, if you will see these trees. So what is happening with these trees? देखो इनकी जो bark है उनको peel किया जा रहा है, उनके ऊपर से उनकी खाल उतारी जा रही है. जब उनके ऊपर से उनकी खाल उतार लेंगे, उसको ड्राई कर लेंगे. जब उसको ड्राई कर लेंगे, इट विल बी कन्वर्टेड इनटू दिस फॉर्म, एंड दिस इज कॉल्ड दी Bhojpatra. This is called the Bhojpatra. So earlier people, what they used to do, they used to write on these paper, the dried bark of trees, which are called Bhojpatra. इसके ऊपर अपना content वो लिखते थे. Suppose I am a writer and I have written 100 Bhojpatras all together. I am writing about a king and I have written. So now what? Now what I'll do? I'll take all 100 Bhojpatras together and I will stitch it. जैसे अभी हम spiral करा लेते हैं, just like that. What we will do? We will stitch the Bhojpatras together. So now can I call it a book? Can I call it a book? Yes. So now it has converted into a book. So the handwritten records of the past in the form of books are called manuscripts. So what are manuscripts? Manuscripts are the written records which are in the form of books. So these are the literary sources. Literary sources are further divided into 2 different parts. What is religious literature and the secular literature? So what is religious? Its name itself is telling me that the religious literature is something that is dealing with the religions. Religion means dharma. जो ऐसी बुक्स हैं जो धर्म पे लिखी गई हैं, that all the religious literatures. जैसे कि if you are able to see here the Vedas, the Upanishads, the Jatakas. So these all are the books which are written on the religions. धर्म किस टाइप से फॉलो करते थे वहाँ के लोग. बट अभी मैंने एक लाइन बोली थी, suppose I am a poet and I like to write the poems, or I am a dramatist, I am writing a drama, or whatever. I am a traveler, I travel from place to place, और मैं अपना experience लिखती हूँ एक book में. So all these are related to religions? No, these not are related to religion. So these are called secular literature. Suppose I am writing, मैं मंत्री हूँ एक किसी राजा का है, किसी king का मैं advisor हूँ, and I am writing a book on that particular king. So is this religious? This is not at all religious. So the books, the literature, the written part which is not related to any of the religion is called the secular literature. For example, Kautilya's Arthashastra. This book was written by the Kautilya, and in this book he has described about the Mauryans administration. And the next book which you are seeing on the screen is Megasthenes Indica. In this book he has described Chandragupta Maurya. So both the books are not related to the religion, so these are the secular literatures. So that's all. Till now we have discussed how many topics? What is history, importance of history, division of history, and the sources of history, that from where do we get our information. So the next topic, which is something history से थोड़ा सा अलग, though it is related to history but कुछ difference है, which is that topic. That topic is geographical impact. Geographical impact on history. मतलब मैम आप क्या कर रहे हो? History भी geography भी, you are mixing up the things. No, I'm not mixing up the things, बच्चा. You need to understand it very carefully. Now I will tell you हमारी history पे हमारी geography का क्या effect है. So before understanding that, you need to understand what is geography. Whatever we are surrounded with is the part of geography. Suppose the land on which I'm standing, the space that I see, the stars, the moons, the rivers, the mountains, the plateaus, everything which I see around, even the atmosphere in which I'm taking breathe, so that all is geography. So how the geography has affected our history? Yes, it has a great impact on our history. First thing which is very important is about the name of our country, India. कहाँ से आया है ये नाम? Yes, it has come from geography only. Thousands and thousands of years ago, some Iranians, the people from Iran and the people from Greece, they have come to India, and there was a river, Indus river, हम सबने सुना है. So Indus river was there, but they do not used to call that river Indus. They used to call that river Indos. So from the word Indos, the area which is towards the left of that Indus river, they have given the name India. So from where the India has come, from the name of a river, एक river which is a part of geography, and उस river के नाम से हमारा नाम आया India. So just like that, we have many more things which is affecting our history. The first is Great Himalayas, then the Northern Plains, Deccan Plateaus, coastal plains. So these are few of the geographical things that we are going to study, that how it impacted our history. So the first we are going to study about the Great Himalayas. The first that we are going to study is about the Great Himalayas. On the screen, if you are able to see the green lines which I have made, this is the Great Himalayan range. These are the mountains. These are the Himalayan mountains. तो मैम इसने हमारी हिस्ट्री में हेल्प कैसे करी? यस, सो हिस्ट्री में हमको पता है राजा महाराजा होते थे, एक दूसरे पे अटैक करते थे कि हमको उसका राज्य अपने अंडर लेना है, तो हमारी जो है किंग साइज ऑफ किंगडम बड़ा हो जाएगा. यस, इट हैपेंस. सो अब क्या होता था, बिकॉज माउंटेन्स, दिस हिमालयन माउंटेन्स इज एट द नॉर्थ ऑफ द इंडिया. ये कहाँ पर है? इंडिया के नॉर्थ पे. सो इफ यू सी, इतनी ज़्यादा हाइट है इसकी, that if some people come from here and want to attack India, they have to first of all climb the mountain and then they have to come down to attack India. So do you think people will try? So that is the one reason, that it always acts as the natural barrier. It always acts as the natural barrier to protect us from the invaders. Invaders are the अटैकर्स. हमको अटैक करने से द जो हमारे पे अटैक होने वाला होता था उससे हमको बचा लेता था. कौन? ग्रेट हिमालय. दो few of the invaders have come from the north only, from some low lying passes like Tirchi and all. So but again it has a high impact. So the northern plains, if you are able to see on the screen, the orange part which I just highlighted is the नॉर्दर्न प्लेन्स. तो हाउ द नॉर्दर्न प्लेन्स इफेक्टेड द हिस्ट्री. अगर हम आगे जाके जैसे हम चैप्टर्स पढ़ेंगे इन हिस्ट्री, वी विल स्टडी दैट the first civilization happened here only. It was happened near the Indus river. लेकिन क्यों ऐसा हुआ? Because first of all, it is the northern plain is just below the Himalayas, so the rivers, water is flowing from the Himalayas, so the rivers are very much in this area, so the water is very much actually. So first of all, the communicating problem was not there. Water transport can be easily done here because of the availability of rivers. Second, as I told you in grade 5, that when the water flows from the mountains, it brings sand, silts together and it deposits down on the plain, so it makes the area very fertile. So ध्यान से सुनना, इन नॉर्दर्न प्लेन्स रिवर्स तो है ही, वाटर इज अवेलेबल, देन द लैंड इज वेरी फर्टाइल, so cannot I do some agriculture here? Yes, so northern plains have become the most popular place for doing the agriculture. So from the history, the people, those who wanted to get settled, जिनको एक जगह पे settle होना था, which place would they prefer? Will they prefer Himalayas or the plains? Yes, so they preferred plains and they started settling in the northern plains. So this is how it has been impacted our history. Then the next is Deccan Plateau. If you are able to see, I'll show you this area is the Deccan Plateau and everyone know because सब बच्चे क्लास 5 में पढ़ के आए हैं ना, प्लेट्यू क्या होता है? प्लेट्यू इज हाईलैंड. प्लेट्यू क्या होता है? हाईलैंड. सो यहाँ तो हमने पढ़ लिया, यहाँ तो हमने ये सारा पढ़ लिया दैट दिस इज द प्लेन एरिया एंड हियर इज द माउंटेन्स. सो अब क्या होता था? सी, क्योंकि लड़ाई तो अभी भी चल रही है, किंग्स को अपना किंगडम अभी भी बढ़ाना है, लेकिन पता है डेक्कन प्लेट्यू इज दैट एरिया जिसकी मिलिट्री फोर्सेस बहुत ही ज़्यादा स्ट्रॉन्ग थी, जिसकी मिलिट्री फोर्सेस बहुत ज़्यादा क्या थी? स्ट्रॉन्ग थी. क्यों? उसका रीज़न कुछ भी हो सकता है, मे बी बिकॉज ऑफ इट्स हाइट, क्योंकि वो एक हाइट पे था. सो जो किंग, दोज हु वांट टू अटैक, उनको पहले हाइट पे चढ़ना पड़ेगा, फिर उन पर अटैक करना पड़ेगा. बट सो द डेक्कन प्लेट्यू वॉज नॉट टेकन कंट्रोल बाय अ लॉन्ग टाइम फ्रॉम एनी अदर किंग, यानी कि कोई भी राजा उसको जीते नहीं पाया था बहुत लंबे टाइम तक. सो दिस इज हाउ द डेक्कन प्लेट्यू हैज हेल्प्ड इन आवर हिस्ट्री. देन द लास्ट physical or geographical impact is the coastal plains. What is coastal? Coastal means the area which is near to the sea. And here if you will see, देखो इंडिया का तो बॉटम हम सबको पता है दैट इट इज टोटली कवर्ड बाय द सी. सो ये जो ब्लैक कलर की लाइन है, दो आई हैव मेड इट रेड नाउ, सो दिस इज द कोस्टल एरिया. एंड व्हाई दिस वाज सो इम्पॉर्टेंट? कैन एनीवन गेस दैट व्हाई इट वाज सो इम्पॉर्टेंट? Yes, see, अब हमारे इंडिया में कुछ भी ग्रो हो रहा है, वट एवर वी आर डूइंग, वी आर मेकिंग सम ब्यूटिफुल पॉट्स और वी आर मेकिंग सम ब्यूटिफुल ज्वेलरी और एनी अदर प्रोडक्ट. नाउ वी हैव टू सेल दैट टू समवन. किसी को बेचेंगे तो ही तो फॉरेन करेंसी हमारे पास आएगी. सो एरोप्लेन्स हैं क्या? एरोप्लेन्स तो नहीं है कि एरोप्लेन में सामान लोड करें और भेज दें उसको, राइट? ट्रेन्स भी नहीं चल रही हैं, रोडवेज भी नहीं है, बसेस भी नहीं है, ट्रक्स भी नहीं है. सो व्हाट द पीपल डू? Yes, they have used the water transport. That means if I wanted to send something to the other countries, I have to use this waterways. From here I think some material will go, है ना? And from here also some material can go. The only way we can sell our products, we can do the business, we can we can purchase something was the water transport. That means the travel was only limited to water transport. So अगर मुझे जाना है दूसरी कंट्री में तो from where I'll go through coastal plains only. And if someone from the outside country is coming here in India, so he has to come where? He has to come to coastal plains only first of all, and then he will be moving to the other parts of India. So that is how the geography of our country has affected the history of our country. I hope this topic is very clear. So the next and the last topic for the chapter is the concept of dates, which are very important for you to understand, because I remembered when last time I was teaching you in grade 5, so you were asking me ki ma'am what is 5000 BCE or what is this AD, and I told you ki in class 6 we will be discussing all this, right? So now is the time when we are discussing everything. So let me start. Archaeological. Archaeologist हमको पता है कौन होते हैं. Archaeologists are the people that are going to some sites to dig something. They take out the evidences. अब वो evidences लेकर आ गए. एविडेंसेस को हमने ये फाइंड आउट भी कर लिया कि ये कितने साल पुराने एविडेंसेस हैं. सपोज इट इज़ 5000 ईयर्स एगो और 2000 ईयर एगो, हमको पता चल गया. लेकिन उनको मार्क कैसे करें अब, है ना? ऐसे तो नहीं लग सकते 5000 साल पहले, 2000 साल पहले. इट सीम्स लाइक अ हॉरर मूवी. सो हिस्टोरियंस ने सोचा कि कुछ तो करना पड़ेगा ना, डेट्स तो देनी ही पड़ेंगी हिस्ट्री को. सो व्हाट दे हैव डन, दे हैव मेड अ बेस. जैसे हम हमेशा अपने मैथमेटिक्स में जीरो को बेस लेके चलते हैं, इसके इधर पॉजिटिव, इसके इधर नेगेटिव लेफ्ट साइड में. तो जस्ट लाइक दैट व्हाट द हिस्टोरियंस हैव मेड अ टाइमलाइन वेयर दे नीडेड अ बेस. तो उन्होंने बेस किसको लिया? अ वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट birth of Jesus Christ. So they have taken the birth of Jesus Christ as base and they have marked it 1 CE. They have marked it 1 CE. So now here this is the birth of Jesus Christ. अब which is very important for you to understand is, देखो ये तो हो गया birth of Jesus Christ. Here now towards the right of birth of Jesus Christ normal years are going on. जैसे अभी चल रहे हैं 1998, then 1999, then 2000, 2001, 2002, 2003, 4, 5, 6, अभी 2021 चल रहा है और इसके बाद डेफिनेटली 2022 आएगा. So here is no problem, we are walking in ascending orders, not a problem. And this area which is after the birth of Jesus Christ is called common era. The area, the time which has come after the birth of Jesus Christ is called common era, and the time which is before the birth of Jesus Christ is normally before common era or BCE. We use it as BCE. I think that is comfortable you all, but here is some change. What is that change now? See, यहाँ पर आपको दिख रहा होगा कि the things are written in ascending order in the right side 500, 1000, but when I am walking towards my left it is again the same 500 BC, 1000 BC, 1500 BCE. But here you need to understand, this is the last thing that you need to understand in this chapter. If I am saying one event took place in 2500 BCE and one event took place in 1500 BCE, so what do you think, which event took place earlier? पहले कौन सा event हुआ, 2500 BCE or 1500 BCE? So yes, here you need to think before, because we are going to opposite side. हम उल्टा चल रहे हैं यहाँ पे. जब हम उल्टा चलते हैं, जब हम backwards चलते हैं, तो backward जब हम चलेंगे तो सबसे पहले कौन सा इवेंट हुआ होगा, जो सबसे बड़ा होगा. यानी कि जो 2500 BCE में हुआ है वो सबसे पहले हुआ है, जो 1500 BCE में हुआ है वो बाद में हुआ है. लेकिन अगर मैं CE की बात करूँ कि 1500 CE and 2500 CE, so which event took place first? Yes, 1500 CE took place first और उसके बाद क्या आया, 2500 BCE. So you just need to remember this, that in CE we always walk ascendingly and in BCE we always count backwardly, or you can say in the decreasing order. So that was all, that was the whole chapter, and thank you so much for being a great listener. I hope the topics that we have discussed are clear to you. If you have any doubt you can contact me, you can write me down, or Zoom sessions में तो हम मिल ही रहे हैं, right? Okay, bye.